Sagittarius, Mystic GLoLady here. As you can see, this is a new format for September 2015. Let me see if I can hold that still. I'm still working on it. As you can see, this is still a prototype, but I'm working on teaching as I do the reading. So I'm going to be doing another cheat sheet video, so it will explain all of the different glyphs and symbols that are coming. Sagittarius, this is the glyph for Sagittarius, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. Okay, it's a fire sign, male, for those November 21st to December the 21st. It's enthusiastic, adventurous, optimistic. It's a cardinal sign. That means that they are more adaptable, and cardinal are those at the beginning of the season. So, as you see, we have it all set up. And what we are doing, this is what we call a general reading. Now, if your ascendant would be Sagittarius, that would go into the first house, and that would set up the rest of the houses. All of the constellations fall right in order. They always are one behind the other, starting with Aries at the beginning. So, since this is a general reading, we put Sagittarius, your sun sign, into the first house. Therefore, when I'm talking about the different planets in each of your houses, that is not necessarily correct to your birth chart unless you are, as I said, putting your ascendant in the first house position. So whatever your ascendant is, please go and listen to that video also, because that will talk more specifically as to where the planets are in regards to your birth chart. Okay, I hope that I didn't confuse you too bad. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let me know if you like this and what you would like to see differently, because the sun is going to be shining in Virgo this month. It's going to be at 8 degrees of Virgo at the beginning, and then it will be moving to 24 degrees of, on the 24th, it will move to 0 degrees of Libra. Now, the 23rd is the fall equinox, okay? Sun is going to be falling in your 10th house. On the 24th, it will move to your 11th house, and the sun will shine more on your friends, your hopes and wishes. But for right now, we have the sun in your 10th house, and you have Virgo energy in there. Okay, organized, practical, analytical, all right? In your career, what do you need to get more organized, okay? Getting organized so that you can get that fortune and fame and status that you are striving for in your career house. Now, the new moon. As you see, the moon changes signs every 2.5 days, and it starts out in Aquarius, and then we have the new moon. Okay, it's a solar eclipse, depending on where you live, on the 13th and 14th. Okay, if you're beginning of time, it'll be on the 13th. If you're Eastern Standard Time, it'll be on the 14th. Okay, so the new moon is going to be 20 degrees of Virgo, and that's going to be shining on your career house. What kind of new beginnings? Okay, the new moon is new beginnings. All right, the moon represents your emotions, your soul. It's symbolic of the mother, the wife, and it is the magnetism. As the moons increase and decrease the tides, the emotions are also increased and decreased in your life. And the new moon, what are you beginning in your career house? What are you magnetizing for some fame? Is that what you're magnetizing? More fame and fortune? Because we also have that full moon. And one of those videos dealing with the planetary aspects and the energy that is coming at the end of the month, it's going to be really, really intense. So the eclipses and the equinox, I will be talking to you about them more in a prophetic, I'll say that, prophetic format. And starseeds, light workers, you'll catch my drift. All right. So the full moon is going to be in Aries, and this is a super full moon, a lunar eclipse, and there's magic that happens during the lunar eclipse because the veils are thinner. And I took a photo in 2006 during a lunar eclipse of a fairy mugshot. And this is my fairy mugshot. People say that orbs are bugs, and I say yeah, and this bug just stopped and posed for me. So there is a spiritual dimension that is going to be revealed more and more. We see it happening more and more. Now, that full moon is in your fun, creativity, sex, children, that fifth house. What are things that you need to let go of? What are the emotions that are holding you back? What is it because, do you have a good reason to hold back on your emotions when you should be going out there and having fun? Okay, what is it? I mean, Aries is in your fifth house. You know, that's beginning new things. Do you begin new things, but that's it? Do you begin new emotions for the thrill of it, and that's it? Maybe that might be something on the full moon that is going to be you're going to let go of. You know, I mean, it's a feast or famine. You know, it's still a roller coaster. You know, if you're using those emotions and you get so high on those emotions, you know, I mean, the higher you get, the lower you crash when, you know, if it's not the right one and you're just out there playing around. You know, I mean, everything, if you look at everything as a karmic lesson, you will start to take things a little bit more serious, understanding that what you put out, you're going to get back. Sagittarius, I see. You like to have fun. You're enthusiastic, adventurous, optimistic. Okay, but don't use your fun-loving life to mislead others emotionally, because it will come back and bite you. That's just how it is. What goes around comes around. Life is cyclic. Okay, it's not a straight linear. You know, you can take a straight linear, but still going to get you to the opposite end. All right. Mercury. Mercury is that sign of communication. Mercury is at 5 degrees of Libra. Sorry about that. And that's in your 11th house. Hopes, wishes. Libra is that balance, okay? Being balanced in it with your friends, okay? Hopes and wishes. What? You don't hope for more than you think you can get? Is that what it is? Okay. Now it's going to be retrograde. Mercury is going retrograde on the 17th. And that will be at 15 degrees of Libra. It will go back to 7 degrees at the end of the month, and then when it goes direct on October the 9th, it will be at 0 degrees of Libra. All right, now Libra is that balance. Okay, what kind of communications do you need to get balanced? All right, Mercury retrograde, trust me on this one, it's going to be a doozy because I'm feeling it already. This is the second time that I've had to start Sagittarius. And yesterday I had to do Scorpio many times. And see, now in the middle of it, I get interrupted because I forgot to silence my phone. Well, dang, isn't that how it always goes? Salespeople. Okay, Mercury, Sagittarius. Watch out for Mercury, because it is retrograde. All right, and or going retrograde, and it's going to be a doozy. Electrical, mechanical, communication breakdowns. If you have to sign a warranty, if you have to get a warrant, if you have to sign a contract, if you need to buy something, get a warranty. Look at the fine print, because you're gonna need it. All right, it's and there again, with dealing with your friends, that can be another one that when you are talking, that needs to be a little bit more specific. All right, because it's a communication breakdown. That means things aren't as up and up as they normally are, as if they're ever up and up, right? Okay, Venus, that goddess of love. Venus is still roaring in the sign of Leo, and it is retrograde. So remember about those retrogrades? If you've been seeing people and they're more lazy, drama, focusing on money, while Venus has been in retrograde. So it's not just you that it is affecting. And Venus is going to be going direct on the 6th at 14 degrees of Leo. And it will be at 23 degrees of Leo at the end of the month. Now, Leo is in your 9th house. Long distance travel, higher learning, spiritual quest. All right. What are you looking to do? What are you loving to do? And the reason that I'm asking you that is because Mars is going to be conjunct Venus on September 1st. And Mars, that masculine energy, okay, the vitality, sex drive, the warrior, military pioneer, that male energy that is with that love and beauty, love, beauty, values, and it's in your 9th house. Are you planning to go on a trip with a loved one? Well, September 1st would be a great time in order to do that. What are you working on? Are you planning on going back to school? Are you all excited because you are going back to school? Now, Mars isn't going to stay there long, because at the 26th, he's going to be back down there in Virgo. And he's going to be in your 10th house, your career house. And at the end of the month, he's going to be at 10 degrees. So he's really moving quickly. Mars is moving quickly along, as sometimes they do. But it's going to be in your 10th house, okay? It's going to be in Virgo. And it's going to be multiplying your career, because Jupiter is also in Virgo. And Jupiter is going to be there for a year. And Jupiter multiplying your career, it's 4 degrees to 10 degrees of Virgo. Spiritual quest, wisdom, expansion, long journeys, justice, law, truth, banking. Jupiter is going to be multiplying. That is what Jupiter represents. It is going to be in your career house. What of those can you utilize for your career? What can you utilize that Jupiter energy, not just to multiply, but possibly use what Jupiter is symbolic of? Okay, Saturn, that teacher, the Lord of Karma. Saturn was retrograde in Scorpio. And Scorpio is up there, right there, in your 12th house. Your 12th house of karma, jails, secrets, institutions, hidden enemies. Saturn, that teacher. You've been learning some hidden secrets. Some hidden secrets have recently been exposed. What do you do with them? Remember that karma. Okay, Saturn, that teacher. Did you learn that lesson? Because Saturn, being that it's going direct, is going to be going into Sagittarius. Okay, it's going to be spotlighting on you. It's going to be giving you some lessons. Okay, on the 18th, it'll be in Sagittarius. All right, it's going to be going over you, yourself, your body, your appearance. What are the lessons that you learned regarding yourself? Are you starting to be good to you and others in the same process? What have you learned in that 12th house that was hidden, that you can bring it out to your first house? Did you find solutions for those in those institutions in order to live happier lives? Is that something that you are going to be associated with, doing great things as such? Uranus, that unexpected. And Uranus is retrograde in Aries. So Uranus, that unexpected, okay, it's at 19 degrees, it's going, 19 degrees, it's going to stay at 19 degrees pretty much the whole month. All right, well, it will be, duh. Sorry, sometimes you can tell I'm a blonde. All right, Uranus, it stays in a sign for about 7 years. That's that unexpected change, freedom, invention, social reform, intuition, sixth sense, revolutionary, liberation. It's retrograde, so that is the individual, the nonconformist. Aries is new beginnings, new things, new creations. And it is in your 5th house of fun, creativity, sex, and children. Have you decided that you are going to open up a retreat center? Is that what, to do some natural health and healing? Is that something that you think would be fun to do? Well, I'm sure that you're not the only one, because Uranus is changing a lot of people, a lot of things. The planetary energies are coming along and changing a lot of people, a lot of things. We are going to be seeking more of the natural health care. It's not just about the profit for a few people, I mean, you make the people sick, you give them medicine never cures you. Well, gee whiz, how many millions of dollars do you need to live? Okay? I mean, it's an outside manifested illness with them. If they're living in that type of mindset, well, who's going to cure them when they get sick? Okay? Neptune's the delusions. And Neptune rules Pisces. And that's exactly where Neptune is in. You see Neptune, you see Pisces. Okay? Since it is retrograde, the truth is revealed. Alright? Now with Neptune, you have to be careful. Alright? Because we do have a tendency to escape with alcohol and drugs. And a lot of it is because that's that genius that hinges on insanity. Okay? That Christ-like universal love, that we feel that this is who we are, but society tells us that no, that's not who you should be, that you should be these little sheeple and live in that cookie cutter world, and that's not what it is. And the truth is going to be revealed. So use those dreams, okay, the visions, your psychic intuition. Listen to your gut. Okay, your gut is your God unto thee. And Neptune is falling into your 4th house. Okay, Pisces, that I believe. Okay, the imaginative, compassionate, psychic energy. All right, your 4th house, your home, your sacred space, your property, your mother. All right, what are you seeing or need to see clearly regarding your home, your property, your mother? Okay, is there something in there that you thought it should be one way, but it wasn't? That it was really another way, and that was just your way of thinking and dealing with it? So change is happening whether we want it or not. And that's what evolution is. Evolution is change. And Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto is retrograde right now, but it's going direct on the 25th. It's at 13 degrees, about halfway through. It's going to go back 1 degrees to 12, and that's where it'll end up at the end of the month. Pluto's halfway through Capricorn, but it takes 8 to 20 years. All right? Capricorn, ambition, determination, responsible. It's in your second house of money, okay? Your earnings, your wealth, your possessions. All right, right now, Pluto is dealing with your inner fears because it is retrograde. Are you worried about the wealth and possessions? Because Pluto is coming to change how you are looking at your wealth and your possessions. Capricorn's in there. Capricorn is grounded, okay? Capricorn is that I use, okay? You know how to use things to create. You have the ambition, the determination, and the responsibility in order to create those wealth and possessions. But does that mean that you can also use it to help other people in the process? That's a big part of what's coming when people start to understand that what affects one affects all. When you are putting out whatever you are putting out, that energy will eventually transform itself back to you. It might be in a different form or fashion, but what you're putting out will come back. So what are you putting out? Okay, you really have to question yourself as to that, because we can't blame others. That's one of the reasons why they always blame those witches for being and doing those horrible deeds, because they put their finger out accusatory of them, condemning, and therefore bad things happened. And then they would blame those witches for doing those bad things when it was those themselves who were doing it because of sticking out their fingers, okay? That threefold law, you stick your finger out in condemnation, you have threefold it back. One out, right here, threefold it back. All right, where's that trigger? All right, what we're putting out there. How are you treating people? Do you point your finger at them? Or are you going like this so that it all goes out to them? Seriously, when you're putting energy out, it's going to come back. So you have to, really should consider the energy that you're putting out there. All right, now, this is the second time I've shuffled the cards for you. I started doing the other one and then noticed that it wasn't recording, so luckily, I only had to do the astrological over again. For some reason it wasn't recognizing the file format. Life is good, isn't it? It's never dull and boring. So, on the bottom of it, we have the loss in pleasure, the 5 of Cups. Okay, what is it that didn't work? You also see the Mars and the Scorpio. Okay, you see those at the bottom, the glyphs at the bottom. All right, what is that loss in pleasure that you're going to be putting behind you? This is on the bottom of the deck. This is what you, the energy to work with, what is behind you. Okay, so the emotional loss, we've already talked about the work. Okay, we talked about Scorpio, in that 12th house and Saturn being there. So what lessons you needed to learn, okay, emotionally with work, has to be put behind you, okay? It is beneath you, all right? It's the energy that we use. Remember, out of pain grows great wisdom, okay? There's a reason why we hurt so bad sometimes. In your first house of self, you have the Wheel of Fortune, that 10. What goes around comes around. You have Jupiter down there giving you some blessings. Wasn't this what we were just talking about? What goes around comes around, and this is in your first house. Okay, Sagittarius, remember Scorpio is going to be coming over there. What goes around comes around. Have you learned the lessons in how you behave and how you treat other people? Is that the lessons that you have learned? Because if not, remember, Saturn's going to come over there and it's going to be sitting on you for a while, and you're going to learn them whether you want to or not. Okay? That's just the way it is. Alright? The Magician in the second house. The number 1, the Mercury, the communications. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, you have the planetary energy backing you to create wealth. What are you going to do with that wealth? As we say, wealth is not monetary. What are you going to be doing with that energy? When we focus on the monetary, materialistic values, we can never get enough of to make us happy. We always need more, okay? So remember that spiritual malady, okay, that dis-ease within comes from healing within. Now, in your third house of communication, short distance travel, you have the energy of Aquarius in there. That I know. Humanitarian, original, futuristic. Alright, 2 of Wands, the Dominion. Where is the hold up of? What are you holding up? Where is... You know, we were talking about work earlier, and you see Mars and you see Aries, you know, new beginnings with work on there. And because this is a general reading, I have to speak it, you know, more symbolically. But I can tell you that there are going to be some of you Sagittarius who are going to be going out there and doing great things in the month of September. And it's not possible for all Sagittarius to do that. But not everyone jumps on the bandwagon. You know, it usually waits until it's coasting downhill until they do. You know, most people don't want to push that wagon, you know, when it's getting up the hill. You know, it's kind of hard to be the first one to get it started. But I'll tell you what, if you're the first one to get it started, you're the one who gains more strength than the others, because you know how great and hard it is to pull that wagon uphill. Okay, we're coming down here to the 4th house, okay? 4th house, home, sacred space, property, mother. Remember, we have Neptune in there, that illusions, delusions, but truth is revealed. 4 of Pentacles. Pentacles is money. 4 is like a cornerstone number, okay? It is a firm foundation number. Alright, you see the Sun and Capricorn in there. Are you going to be building? What kind of building? Is that an emotional building? Is that a physical building in your home? Okay, it will be fertile if you were to build more. Okay, the resources are there to build a fertile home life. Okay, your home. Truth is revealed. What you thought might not be what it is. Okay. In the 5th house, we have the 5 of Pentacles, material trouble. We also see Mercury and Taurus in there. Pentacles is money. Now, it's in your 5th house. As I was saying earlier, you know, fun, creativity, sex, children, 5th house. Watch where you're blowing your cash. Watch where you're blowing your energy. Uranus is in there, you know, that unexpected. Remember that full moon is in there. What do you need to let go of? Watch where you are putting your energy. Are you putting your energy to good use, or are you wasting valuable energy? All right, that's something that you might want to consider. Now, in your 6th house, of health, work, service, daily routine, you have Taurus. Taurus is that grounded, okay? Taurus is the I have. All right, can you see it up there? There you go. Strength, patience, values. It's a fixed sign. It's right in the middle of the spring season. Okay, and you have the Judgment. The Judgment is a joining of. What are you joining together in your health or work sector? Are you joining in with others who are doing a new type of work, a new type of job, or a new health routine? You might want to communicate more, you know, to get out there. And no, you don't have to buy theirs. That's not what I'm saying. Remember the 5th house, all right? But yes, it would be nice. Maybe they have a buy one get one free at a workout club. You know, that's what it is. If you don't call, you know, if you don't call the friends, you're going to be spending up more. You know, just make that phone call. Communicate. All right, don't hold up on the communications. Communicate, you know, save you some money. That's the way to do it, you know, magic. And no, I'm not saying rip them off and saying, hey man, you know, this is a great deal, you know, and let them pay for you. Okay, now there again, not saying that that person doesn't have money and that they wouldn't, but if you don't communicate, they don't know either. You know, maybe they have way more money than you have and would love to go, but they don't want to seem like they're buying you, so that's why they don't offer. Okay? Make mention. I'd love to go. They have a half price. Want to do it? I can't afford it. Can you? If we're honest, people love our honest. And if we're honest, they're going to be honest back. You know, I mean, most of the time. Some, yeah, okay. You know, it's progress, not perfection. All right? Now, in the 7th house of marriage, contracts, partnerships, relationships, we have Gemini. Gemini is the I think. Okay, communication, inquisitive, versatile. You have the Prince of Wands. All right, doing it symbolically, it would be young, male, work. Okay, working at it with that young male. You know, what is it the new energy of? It's symbolic. It has to be symbolic unless we're doing a specific reading. As we say, you look at the card because every card tells a story. What is that story telling you? It's in your relationship house. Symbolic of work, symbolic of male, young. All right, what's working in your relationships? Because it's working, you know, work it. You know, you might have to think of some new, you know, younger ideas, but what can you do to make better relationships? Okay, 8 of Swords, the shortened force. Swords, mental, illness, communication, travel, all depends on how they are aspected, and this one is in your 8th house. Your 8th house of other people's money, the inheritance, taxes, death, past life relationships. It's the energy of Cancer, the I feel. Cancer is understanding, sensitive, emotional, all right? Are you feeling other people's losses? Okay, we have Jupiter and Gemini. Okay, Jupiter multiplying, Gemini communications. As I had said, Mercury is going to be retrograde. Mercury retrograde is a doozy. Is it your will that needs to be completed? Or is there someone that you know of that needs legal paperwork done? Please get it done at the beginning of the month. Or you could possibly find when Mercury goes retrograde that there was some paperwork that was not done correctly and needs to be redone. That is what a retrograde is good for. It is good for redoing. Now, in the 9th house of long-distance travel, communications, long-distance travel, it's higher learning, not so much communications, except for the swords is mental communication, illness, and travel. All right, the 2 of swords, the peace restored. Remember, you have Venus and Mars conjunct in there on the 1st. What kind of peace restored do you need to do? Venus retrograde is also good for past lovers coming back into our life. So do you need to apologize for things that you have done to someone in the past? Is that peace restored that you need? Is it someone from a longer distance that you need to apologize to? You know, if it's not apologizing, is it showing people how to live happier, how to restore peace in their life? All right, it's higher learning, it's spiritual quest. Are you learning how to put down these swords and not be so combative with other people? Are you learning that, yeah, peace is a good thing? Peace heals. Peace and love heal. It is an energy of. When we are children, we are born of pure love. Yeah, they might cry, but it's because they need, you know, and they need to eat, you know, or their pants are wet or poopy. You know, a child is born of pure love. It is only by those who teach him does he learn to hate. Does he learn that other colors are not as good as the color of his own skin? Not understanding that that skin is just a shell. We are all spiritual beings when you get to the core of it. In the 10th house, you have the Princess of Wands. 10th house, career, status, father, fame. You have Jupiter in there multiplying. I guess I should hold it still so you could read that story of what it's telling you in your career house. What's up with your career? What kind of new goodies is coming up for you? Because there's new beginnings. Jupiter's in there multiplying. Virgo's in there. Virgo is organizing, analyzing. What is it that you are getting organized and analyzed in your work? What kind of work do you need to do? Symbolic, young. Symbolic, female. Symbolic work. All right? Do you need to think like a younger person, like the young people? Do you need to find a younger person in order to tell you how they think? The children are our future. Of course we want to know their opinions. In the 11th house, we have the Prince of Swords. Swords, as I said, that mental illness, communication, travel. It is in there with Mercury. Okay, Mercury's in there with Libra. Hopes, wishes, friends, and associates. What is the communications that we are getting balanced with our friends? What are those hopes and wishes that we are actually allowing ourselves to dream as a possibility? Okay, we hold ourselves back. Okay, the I will, the I am. Who are you? Okay, communicate who you are. Don't allow someone to tell you who you are when they know nothing about you other than they want to control you, who you are. Summing it up, we have the Empress. The Empress is new birth, new beginnings, new creations, and it is in the 12th house of that karma. Sorry, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with these yet. I'm thinking about some type of a platform that I might be able to put it there. Anyhow, let me get back digressing. Sorry. Empress, new birth, new beginnings in the 12th house of karma, jail, secrets, hidden enemies, institutions. Saturn, that teacher's in there. Remember, it was teaching a whole lot of stuff that was going icky goo. Are you creating something new with that icky goo? Are you reformatting something? What are you creating? What are you keeping hidden until it's the birth of? And isn't it the birth of? It looks like it's coming out very, very soon. What did you give birth to? Now, as we are doing these, on the bottom row, you have all the cardinal signs. Okay, cardinals, the, beginning of the season. They are bam, right now. What's going on? It's the present. In the second, it is the fixed. The fixed is right in the middle of a season. This is the future of what is coming. And at the top, you have the mutable signs. Mutable signs are the end of seasons. They are more willing to bend and go with the flow. These are symbolic of the past, and I say we have learned that it's easier to bend and go with the flow than it is to be rigid and get broken in the process. So we'll start it out with that top row, and that is in the past. Okay, that relationships, the new communications with the relationships, what was the hold up of the communications? Are you the one who held up the communications? Where is the partnership? Okay, the partnership that has been in the past. What is the communications in there? The new beginnings with communications. All right, are you the one who held up, or were you the one who the communication was held up? All right, that was in the past. Now, right now, what's going on, as we say, what goes around comes around. Possibly you were jilted at the altar, and now there is someone even better that has come along that is no way in comparison to that first one that you got jilted at the altar. Okay, we have to start looking at our blessings, not just what we don't have or what we lose, but start looking at the divine that works through our lives to bring us good things. We should be happy, but we have to choose to be happy. When things don't go right for me, I have learned to sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, throw up my hands and say, okay, God, I don't have to ask how or why, except it's your will and it will be good. And my God is that good, orderly direction. Okay, my God doesn't have a name or a face. My God is slang for good, orderly direction. Okay, that divine, the high, the truth, the light, the justice, what we are born of. We are born of that pure love. All right, going into the future of what is coming, we had talked about, and this is more or less just summoning up, okay, the magician, having the power to create. The material trouble, the shortened force, okay? Communicate about that money, because that's definitely right in the middle of it. We have a lot of things that are going on, and Mercury being retrograde is going to be helping to create some chaos that's there. All right. Do you have your backup sources, systems, if things would go down? Is that something that needs to be fixed? Is that something that needs to be invented? That you are creating something that would benefit society if the electric grid went down? That's bottom line. They're talking about Satan, and Saturn has been said to be, Satan, and Saturn is going to be going over into Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is fun-loving, and well, gee whiz, if the electric grid went down, how much fun would Sagittarius have? All right? So, whatever your meaning, whatever your mission, be true to yourself in what it is, and that is what will bring you happiness. Okay, when we listen to others for our heads and with their thoughts and their beliefs, and it goes against our guts, that is where the heartbreak occurs. So when we learn to live truly in our authentic selves, then we can gain happiness, and we can learn to detach with love from others. Okay, their thoughts, their beliefs are theirs. They have free will. They can do and think whatever they want. You know, it's nothing to do with you. All right? It is you. It is you. It is you who makes a difference in your life and others. Do you make a good one, or do you need some work on that? And that's just something to consider. So I don't have any rhyme or reason for my readings. They go until they're done. So if you notice some that are 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half hour, well, they're not going to be a half hour, but anyhow, yes, you're right. I do have my readings, and they aren't always on the same time frame, and when I do a reading, it flows. And that's just how it is. So my readings hopefully will be teachings, and they will teach you how to understand the planetary aspects and live a life with, happier, joy. It's, yeah, still challenging. Don't get me wrong. There aren't times I have to grit my teeth and say, in this moment there is only love, over and over again. But eventually that thought, in this moment there is only love, does begin to expand. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom to know the difference. What can I change? And that is me. So Sagittarius, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. You want to read in, get a hold of me. And, yeah, keep that smile on your face. Smiles are contagious. Pass them out. See you, love you, bye.